Welcome back. Please listen to the end.
The story of Krishna, Chapter 1: A Prophecy and the Birth of Krishna. Once upon a time, in the grand kingdom of Mathura, there lived a wise and just king named Krishna. He ruled his land with fairness and generosity. But like all stories, this one too had a twist. You see, the kingdom of Mathura held a secret, a prophecy that whispered of a destined child. This prophecy foretold that a child born to the king's own daughter, Devaki, would bring about the end of Krishna's rule. The news of this prophecy spread like wildfire through the kingdom. Fear gripped the hearts of those who heard it, especially the king himself. To protect his throne, King Krishna decided to imprison his own daughter and her husband, Vasudeva. It was a cruel fate for a young couple deeply in love, and it left them in chains within the walls of a dark and foreboding prison. Chapter 2: A World in Need. Now, let me take you beyond Mathura's walls, to a world in turmoil. It was a world where darkness had begun to cast its long shadow over the land. Evil forces, led by the wicked King Kansa, threatened to engulf everything in their path. The people of this world cried out for a savior, their voices echoing through the cosmos. The pleas of the people reached the heavens themselves. The divine beings, the gods, gathered to discuss this dire situation. They recognized the need for a powerful intervention, someone who could vanquish the forces of evil and restore balance to the world. Chapter 3: A Divine Birth. Imagine a prison cell, cold and unforgiving, where Devaki and Vasudeva languished unjustly. But their love and unwavering devotion drew the attention of the divine. In a burst of light that seemed to pierce the very fabric of reality, the Supreme Being, Lord Vishnu, descended into the world, taking birth as their son. As baby Krishna entered the world, a miraculous transformation occurred. The chains that bound Devaki and Vasudeva fell away, and the prison doors swung open, allowing them to cradle their divine child in their loving arms. Little did they know that this baby was not just their son, but a cosmic force destined to change the course of history. Chapter 4: A Miraculous Escape. Picture a stormy night, with rain lashing against the ground. As Vasudeva held the newborn Krishna in his arms, the baby was born in chains, but his arrival was nothing short of divine. Guided by divine instructions, Vasudeva decided to transport baby Krishna to the village of Gokul, far away from the watchful eyes of King Kansa. As he stepped into the turbulent waters of the Yamuna River, a miracle occurred. The river, usually wild and treacherous, parted before Vasudeva's every step, allowing him to carry Krishna to safety. Upon reaching Gokul, Vasudeva exchanged Krishna for the baby girl of his dear friends, Nanda and Yasoda. It was a daring plan to protect Krishna from the clutches of King Kansa, who believed that Devaki's child would be his undoing. The tyrant, unaware of the switch, was left in confusion, thinking he still had the child who could challenge his rule. Chapter 5: Childhood of the Divine. Imagine a serene and picturesque village named Vrindavan, where Krishna grew up in the loving care of Nanda and Yasoda. Beauty of Vrindavan was matched only by the innocence and purity of Krishna's heart. Krishna's childhood was filled with simple joys and playful adventures. He spent his days herding cows, chasing butterflies, and laughing with his friends, the Gopas and Gopis. His presence was like a ray of sunshine, bringing smiles to every face in Vrindavan. Chapter 6: The Legend of the Flute. Close your eyes and picture Krishna, the divine musician, standing beneath the vast, open sky of Vrindavan. In his hands, he held a magical flute, a gift from the gods themselves. As Krishna played his flute, its enchanting melodies echoed through the fields and forests of Vrindavan. Animals, birds, and even the very trees danced in rapture. The flute's music had a unique power. It could soothe the fiercest of storms, calmed the wildest of beasts, and touched the deepest corners of the heart. Krishna's music was more than just a series of notes. It was a message of love, unity, and transcendence. Those who listened felt a profound sense of peace and connection with the divine. Chapter 7: The Pranks of Krishna. See Krishna as a mischievous child, his eyes twinkling with mirth, and a mischievous grin always playing on his lips. He had a particular fondness for the village girls, the gopis, and he delighted in teasing them. Krishna's pranks were legendary in Vrindavan. He would hide their clothes while they bathed in the river, leaving them blushing and laughing. He stole butter from the homes of the villagers, earning him the endearing nickname Mahin Chor, or butter thief. His playful spirit created a bond of love and camaraderie that transcended the ordinary. Chapter 8: The Tale of the Butter Thief. Imagine the village of Vrindavan, where pots of freshly churned butter were a common sight. But there was one resident who had an insatiable love for butter. Krishna. Krishna's butter-thieving adventures were the stuff of legends. He would sneak into the homes of the villagers, often with his friends, and playfully pilfer pots of butter. The villagers would wake up to find their butter gone, and laughter echoed through the village. But there was more to Krishna's butter theft than meets the eye. It wasn't just a child's mischief, it was a profound message. It reminded everyone that divinity could be found in the simplest of joys. Like relishing a mouthful of butter, it taught humility, showing that even the divine could partake in life's most ordinary pleasures. Chapter 9: The Govardhan Hill Miracle. Visualize a massive hill, named Govardhan, standing tall and majestic near Vrindavan. The people of Vrindavan revered this hill as a symbol of abundance and protection. One day, Lord Indra, the god of rain, grew angry with the residents of Vrindavan. In his arrogance, he sent torrential rains and thunderstorms to punish them. The villagers turned to Krishna for help. Krishna, with a twinkle in his eye, decided to protect his beloved villagers. He lifted Govardhan Hill with a single finger and held it up like an umbrella, shielding the entire village from the fury of Indra's storms. This miraculous act of Krishna was not just a display of his divine power. It was a lesson in humility. It taught that true devotion was not about grand sacrifices, but about caring for the earth and its people. Chapter 10: The Dance of Divine Love. Imagine a moonlit night in Vrindavan, where Krishna stood amidst the gopis, the village girls. His divine form radiated with an ethereal glow, and his enchanting flute melodies filled the air. Krishna's dance was a mesmerizing sight. He twirled and swayed, his footsteps creating intricate patterns on the ground. The gopis, lost in the music and his divine presence, danced with him in a state of bliss. This dance was not just a physical performance, it was a representation of the eternal dance of love and devotion between the individual soul and the universal soul. It symbolized the union of the human heart with the divine, a dance that transcended time and space. Chapter 11: The Adventures of Krishna. Picture Krishna not just as a playful child, but as a valiant hero who fearlessly faced challenges. His bravery and wisdom knew no bounds. One of his most famous adventures was the defeat of Kalaya, a venomous serpentine. Kalaya had poisoned the Yamuna river, causing harm to all who approached, but Krishna, with his divine strength, vanquished Kalaya and made the river pure again. Another legendary tale was Krishna's lifting of the mighty Govardhan Hill, an act of protection and humility. These adventures taught that goodness would always prevail over evil, and that courage was the path to victory. Chapter 12: The Divine Teachings. Listen closely to the wisdom of Krishna as he imparts profound life lessons in the Bhagavad Gita, a conversation with Prince Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Bhagavad Gita, often referred to as the Gita, is a sacred text that contains the teachings of Krishna. It is a guide to living a life of purpose, righteousness, and spiritual understanding. In this pivotal chapter of Krishna's story, he imparts lessons on duty, morality, and the path to spiritual enlightenment. His words have resonated through the ages, offering guidance to seekers and philosophers alike. Chapter 13, The Call of Duty. Envision Krishna not just as a playful child or a hero, but as the charioteer of Prince Arjuna during the great Kurukshetra war. As Arjuna's charioteer, Krishna guided him through the moral dilemmas of battle. The battlefield of Kurukshetra was a place of great conflict and difficult choices. Arjuna, a skilled warrior and prince, was filled with doubt and despair. He faced a moral crisis, torn between his duty as a warrior and his love for his family. Krishna, with his wisdom and compassion, became Arjuna's guide and counselor. He delivered the teachings that would later become the Bhagavad Gita. These teachings emphasize the importance of fulfilling one's duty with righteousness and without attachment to the results. And so, the story of Krishna, the divine playwright, unfolds a tale of love, wisdom, and transcendence that has captivated the hearts of people for centuries. The end. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the next piece. Thank you for your support. Please give us a high rating and subscribe to our channel.